there's my intro. I'm going to talk about something, it's very common on YouTube. If just type in witch or pagan or Wicca, you'll find videos of those in that community, and each of those words means something different to everyone who follows the path, and not everyone on the path identifies with one or all of those terms. I personally am a witch. To some, they can't talk about this because it's too awkward for them. They're still in the closet. They feel like they can't because of religious discrimination. Me personally, I may not let the world know, but once I get talking about it, I'm very passionate about it. As most anyone in a religion or an area of study or something they firmly believe in and love, fandoms, they will stand by it, and that they're very passionate about it. Sorry, I'm playing with my little toadstool that had candy in it. My path is, I'm very eclectic, and I love the Irish lore, the ancient Celtic lore, and the ancient Egyptian lore, so I do pull heavily from both of those, but more from the Celtic than anything. And so I do work with other realms, the fae folk, brownies, elves, the Seelie and Unseelie court, sprites. It's something that's always pulled me in. Now, I did grow up in the Episcopalian Church until I was 7, and then from there, my dad and I stopped going to church for reasons I'm not going into. But where most children between ages 7 and 10, society and their parents and family start telling them fairies are make-believe, that fairies are make-believe, elves are make-believe, ghosts don't exist, blah, 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 blah. The usual society takes over, the Bible and God are the only way, and make-believe is make-believe for children, and you should grow up. I did not have that fully thrust upon me. Yeah, I had the occasional adult that's make-believe, you should stop playing make-believe, you're older now, but I ignored it for the most part. When I was entering high school, it's about 13, 14 years old, that's when I really started looking into what I believe in, like trying to find a term, not to necessarily put a label on myself, but to define this path I was on. And every time I went into a bookstore, I was always pulled to the occult section and the metaphysical section and the tarot cards and all of that. And so as I was learning about that, one of the first witchy books I read was Silver Ravenwolf. And I know she gets a lot of flack for being a fluffy bunny author, but everyone's got to start somewhere. My family doesn't follow this path. My grandfather and my aunts and uncles were all raised Roman Catholic. Most of them are now either Episcopalian like my dad because my mom refused to convert to Catholicism, and the Catholic Church doesn't believe in divorce, so he converted to Episcopalian. Some of them go to non-denominational, but most of them still go to the Catholic Church they grew up in. And so my cousins and I, we are all some variation of religion, whether Catholic or non-denominational, because they aren't Catholic anymore, but they still go to church because they believe in the Bible. My sister's agnostic. And then there's me, the family witch. Which, by the way, don't ever come out to your grandfather or aunts and uncles in the church. My dad called me out in a Catholic church to my aunt and uncle because they tried to convince me I should go to confession, and I told them Episcopalians don't do confession, and he said, that's right, neither do witches, and so I got called out in a Catholic church. Thankfully, it wasn't that loud, and it was just us who heard it. I was not happy with my dad with that one, for all the right reasons. I am mainly a solitary practitioner. I do practice with a few fellow witches occasionally. We do rituals together, but I am not part of a coven. My husband and I practice together. We have done one ritual with a coven, which was fun. But we have decided we won't join a coven right now, unless if we find one that really calls to us. We enjoy being solo for the most part. The dynamics of a lot of covens remind me of dynamics in a church. Let's see. On my path, I accept and acknowledge that I will never be done learning. And the only way to grow is to learn. And if you understand, you will always be learning. You will always grow. I have some of my best friends are witches. They've been taught by high priests and priestesses, and so there has been some learning there. I keep looking away because I have bullet points I'm trying to follow to keep me on task. It's very hard to do sometimes. But I work very closely with several animal guides I have. I've had an eagle and a orca since I was a small child. And in my early 20s, I was graced with 2 wolves as guides. I gained a familiar about 4 years ago in the form of a cat. She's a very sassy cat, but she comes from a long line of healing cats, so it works out very well. reactions I get from people who find out I'm a witch range from, oh cool, you believe in that, but I don't, to the Christians who are, you're going to hell, you need to follow Jesus, let Jesus save you, blah blah blah, to, well, you don't look like a witch. First time I got that, I started laughing and I said, well, what are we supposed to look like? And the person who I was having this conversation with was, well, I don't know, because I don't know what they look like. And my response back was, well, we're human just like everyone else. Some of us are more predominant about showing it than others. But there are several people in my workplace who know it took them almost a year to find out. My last job, they knew within the first 4 hours of me working there, because I was explaining to my manager I would need time off because I was getting married and blah blah blah. He asked what kind of wedding I was having. Well, I'm not gonna lie, and I was like, well, it's gonna be a mixture of Christian and pagan, because you know my family and my husband's family are Christian and we're pagan, and so we were doing a mixture. And I find that when I use the term pagan or Wiccan, people are more accepting to it, versus when I say I'm a witch, people are like, oh my god, you're evil. It's society, a lot of people are raised to think witches and witchcraft are evil, but the neo-pagan and Wiccan movement, that's not evil, but witchcraft is, because it's Salem witch trials and the witch trials in Europe. So, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe down below in the little box. You should know how to do this. If you're familiar with YouTube, just click it.
You should know what you're doing by
now. If you like it, give it a good thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. I'm not going to get salty if you don't like my videos. Salty?
In that context, yes, I hate that word.
I'm not going to get all butthurt if you don't like my videos, because I don't have time for petty shit. Comments always appreciated. If you give hateful comments for no damn reason other than to be hateful and spiteful and start shit, I'm deleting it. I'm not even gonna justify getting into an argument online. Just subscribe, like. If you have any ideas or you just want to have mature conversations, I'll do that. But yeah, just click below, subscribe, like, comment. I won't hunt you down if you don't do any of that. Just enjoy life.